Hey everyone, it's Damon again, and today I'm going to make a video on going into depth on the chart tab of ThinkorSwim, which is going to be one of your most important tabs to use while you are researching and looking at trades in real time. So the chart tab has two main things that I use: just the normal chart sub-tab and the flexible grid. Now, you can do everything from the flexible grid on just the chart pattern, but the flexible grid makes it very easy to do. Whereas if you do it on the chart pattern, just on the chart sub-pattern, it takes a little more TLC to get it how you want. So, for example, on the chart, on just the basic chart tab, you can go to this little corner button right here and select how many grids you want. Now, usually I like to have 4 grids, or 4 to 6 grids on each screen that I have. So I would do 4 grids like this. Now, you could customize this by dragging, having a bigger tab, smaller tab, stuff like that. But this isn't really as customizable as the flexible grid. So just keep in mind that you can do all this stuff on the regular chart that I'm going to show you in flexible grid, but it's kind of a lot harder to customize. So I'm going to focus on the flexible grid thing right here. Alright, so flexible grid, it comes up with a predetermined layout, which is 1 main one on top and 3 on the bottom. Now, to change this, you can go up here and click on Customize Grid, and it'll come up with these things. With these, you can either add a cell above, add a cell to the side, or delete cell. And with this, you can do a bunch of things. So, for example, if I add a cell above on this, it's going to split it in half and do that. Add a cell to the side, and it'll split it in half this way, and so on and so forth. You could do that with each cell, and you can set it up exactly how you want. So usually what I like to do, if I'm working with one screen, you can have a lot of setups. It's going to be determined on what you want to see. There can be several different things that you want to do. So one example of a thing that you might want to do is look at, you might want to look at the same stock. And by the way, you can delete out this sidebar. So this is just full view, and then when you want it back, you can just click on that. So that's kind of a cool feature. So what you can do is you can view one stock, just one stock with 4 different charts. Let's say you want to have a 1 day 1 minute, a 1 day 5 minute, let's say a 5 day 5 minute, and a 1 month daily. You can do that. And how you would do that is you would type in a stock. Let's just say, let's do dries for an example. You do dries, and then you can set this to a link. We'll just do red. So that way you don't have to type it in every time. You can just do the link, and it'll bring it up on each of these. Alright, so now we have 4 dries charts. So these little symbols are very helpful. These symbols, the blue ones, generally mean earnings. These are earnings reports, which is really nice to know. It also shows you on your scanner, which is another video I'll go over, when earnings are coming up and when you can expect earnings calls. This purple thing, it'll tell you if you hover over them. These are splits. Now, splits sometimes could have a big impact on a stock, and sometimes they can have little to no impact. And then you have this, which is a dividend, which Dries is starting to give out a bunch of dividends, which is kind of weird, but you know. So what you can do is there's a little tab right here where you can change the time. So if you wanted to have 1 day 1 minute, you can do that. So it shows you the last day in 1 minute candlestick patterns. And then you can change this to 1 day 5 minute to get a more broad spectrum of how it's moving. And then, for example, you might want to change this to 5 day 5 minute, or maybe even 5 day 15 minute if you're into the more broad spectrum. And then you can do 20 day 1 hour. So this will show you hourly of 20 days. Now you can change these settings. It's pretty simple. So you just go to this, customize list. Customize list, come on. And it comes up this. You can add a time frame. Usually I just keep it at time for the aggregation type. Time interval, you can change this from anywhere from 20 years to today. I want to change this to 30 days, and I want this to be, well, apparently you can only do 12 hours. I thought you could do 24 hours, but apparently you can only do 12 for 30 days, which is kind of weird. I don't know, maybe you'll be able to, actually there is a 1 year day right here. So you could do a 1 year day like that, but for 180 days, I guess you could only do 12 hours. So you could add that, for example, and it'll go to your list, or you could delete it. One that I use for just monitoring a stock is going to the today, and I usually just do either a 5 minute or a 1 minute. I do 1 minute if I'm day trading, and I usually do 5 minute if I'm swing trading. But I use both for a bunch of different reasons, so we're not going to mess too much with that, but I'm just showing you how you could do that. And then you can add that permanently and put it wherever you want on this list so you can get to it. So, okay, whatever, cancel. So that's one thing you might want to do. Another thing you might want to do is set up multiple stocks, so you can watch multiple stocks at once. Another thing is, if I've already determined a stock that I want to look at for the day, what I'll do is there's a little symbol actions bar at the corner of each of these. You can go to the gadget part and select what you want for that trade. So, for example, you can do a level 2, where it shows your level 2 data right here as it comes in, and it also shows you this. Now you can get rid of the chart completely if you want. If I can remember how to do it. How do you do that? Okay, there's these little side buttons too that you can select things that you want to show in the certain grid. So right now I have level 2 showing, and if you don't know the abbreviations, it'll tell you if you hover open it. If you get big buttons, it'll show you a buy market and sell market type thing. Here, let's get rid of the customized grid so you can see everything. So you can just add these different things on this sidebar. Like the dashboard is just buy or sell. So this is basically, you could set this up if you want to keep track of just, oh, I want to buy this right now. And you can add all these things in one window. I wouldn't recommend it, but you add all those things in one window and it makes it pretty cool. So you could set up, I generally like to just have one thing in each window. So I'll have a level 2 right here. Maybe I'll add the times and sales as well, which will show up with the times and sales. And then in this grid, I might set up news or active trader. Active trader is kind of like a summary of everything. I'll get into that in a different video, but it's kind of like a way to see a little bit of everything in one window, but that's what that is basically. For example, you can set up live news as well. Live news might not be that helpful unless you're expecting news, and then as soon as you see it, you'd be like, okay, let's look at what's going on. Generally, I like to have the stock I want, the level 2, the ask, or the level 2, the time in sales. Sometimes I like to have the news, and then I like to have what was that button I had? The dashboard, where a buy or sell, where I could just click on it and buy or sell, and choose the quantity and everything else. For example, I want to buy 50 shares. You could just hit buy, and then it'll come up with your buy menu right here, where you can set it as a limit, trail stop, blah 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 blah. So that is kind of just a basic rundown of how you use the chart section. You can use as many grids as you want. Let's see, if you go to charts, it'll show you. You can use a ridiculous amount of grids. So you can use 4 by 8, which is 32 grids. Why you would want that, unless you had a 100-inch TV or something, I don't know. Yeah. And another question I saw is if it's possible to just trade on one screen, which it is, but it's definitely makes things a lot less efficient. I would say having 2 monitors helps a lot, and actually 3 monitors is very it's very helpful and makes it most efficient. Anything more than 3 monitors I think is overkill, unless you're literally working for a stock firm and you need to see a million different things at once. So anyways, I think that's all I'm going to go over on the charts. If you have any questions about charts, feel free to ask in the comments, and if there's a big enough question that keeps recurring, I'll probably make a separate video on it. I think my next video I'm going to make is about scanners. So if you want to see that video about scanners, give this video a like to let me know that you are liking this content, and have a great day. Make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up on my new videos. Thanks, bye.